I never thought I'd be the kind of person who could destroy an entire company. But here we are. The morning it all started, I was sitting in my cubicle at Datacore Solutions, a name that sounded impressive but hit a rot so deep you couldn't even see daylight anymore. My hands trembled as they hovered over the keyboard, the glow from the monitor casting harsh shadows on my face. The email notification popped up again, and this time, there was no ignoring it. It read, * your employment with Datacore Solutions has been terminated effective immediately. *. That wasn't what made me want to scream. It wasn't even the fact that I'd spent 5 years of my life building campaigns, crunching numbers, and pulling late nights for this place. What really got under my skin was the sender's name, Ethan Caldwell, the boss's son. Ethan, who strutted around the office like he owned the world when his only real talent was being born into privilege. Ethan, who had once called me worthless during one of his tantrums because I dared to correct him on a report. And now, Ethan had decided I wasn't worth keeping around. My name is Clara Hayes, by the way. Not that anyone cared enough to remember it before today. To most people at Datacore, I was just another cog in the machine, a replaceable part whose sole purpose was to keep things running smoothly while the higher-ups took credit for everything good that happened. But let me rewind a little, because if you're going to understand why I did what I did, or rather, why I'm about to do what I haven't done yet, you need to know how we got here. 5 years ago, I walked into Datacore fresh out of college, bright-eyed and eager to prove myself. Back then, I believed in the promise of corporate America, the idea that hard work would lead to success, loyalty would be rewarded, and fairness was more than just a buzzword. I wanted to make a difference, not just climb some ladder for the sake of power or money. Datacore seemed like the perfect place to start. They were a mid-sized tech firm specializing in data management systems, and their slogan, * we organize your chaos, * felt almost poetic to me. Little did I know how chaotic working there would actually turn out to be. At first, things weren't bad. Sure, the hours were long, and the pressure was intense, but I thrived under deadlines. I quickly became known as the go-to person for troubleshooting problems, whether it was fixing a glitch in our software or figuring out why someone's presentation kept crashing mid-meeting. People respected me, or at least pretended to. Even Mr. Caldwell Sr., the CEO himself, acknowledged my contributions during quarterly reviews. Then Ethan joined the company. He didn't come in quietly. No, Ethan made sure everyone knew exactly who he was from day one. He swaggered through the doors like he already owned the place, which, technically, he did, and proceeded to act like every employee owed him their undying gratitude simply for existing. His official title was Junior Executive, though none of us ever saw him do anything remotely executive-like. Instead, he spent most of his time throwing temper tantrums whenever something didn't go his way, micromanaging projects he barely understood, and taking credit for other people's ideas. And then there was the way he treated women. Let's just say subtlety wasn't his strong suit. If you were female and below him on the corporate hierarchy, which, let's face it, included pretty much everyone except his dad, you were fair game for his constant belittling comments and thinly veiled insults. At first, I tried to brush it off. After all, plenty of workplaces had toxic personalities, you learn to deal with them or find somewhere else to work. But Ethan wasn't just any toxic personality. He was relentless. Things came to a head about 6 months ago when he publicly humiliated me during a team meeting. We were discussing a new client proposal, one that I'd spent weeks researching and drafting, and Ethan interrupted me mid-presentation to ask, "Do you actually think anyone cares about this? It's boring." Boring. That was his critique. Never mind that the proposal laid out a comprehensive strategy to increase efficiency by 30%. Never mind that the client ended up loving it after I presented it despite Ethan's attempts to sabotage me. All he cared about was making sure everyone in the room knew he was superior. Afterward, I went back to my desk feeling hollow, questioning whether I belonged here. Was I really worthless, like he said? Was my work meaningless? Those doubts lingered for days, gnawing at me until I convinced myself to push forward. I reminded myself why I'd chosen this career path in the first place, to help people, to solve problems, to make a difference. Surely, that counted for something. Or so I thought. Fast forward to today, and look where we are. Fired. By Ethan. For being worthless. The irony stings more than anything else. Because if I'm truly worthless, then what does that say about the company that employed me for 5 years? What does that say about the clients who trusted me to handle their accounts? What does that say about the colleagues who relied on me to pick up the slack when they were overwhelmed? As I sit here staring at the termination email, rage simmers beneath the surface. This isn't just about losing my job, it's about losing respect. Losing dignity. Losing faith in a system that promised fairness but delivered cruelty instead. And then it hits me. A thought so absurd, so reckless, that it makes my heart race. What if I don't leave quietly? What if I take back some of the power they've stripped away from me? I glance at the clock. It's 9:47 a.m. Most of the employees are either in meetings or buried in their own tasks. No one will notice if I slip into the server room for a few minutes. No one will suspect that the quiet, unassuming Clara Hayes has access to something far more dangerous than anyone realizes. You see, over the years, I've accumulated quite a bit of knowledge about DataCore's inner workings. I know where the skeletons are buried, literally and figuratively. I know which files contain sensitive client information, which databases hold proprietary algorithms worth millions, and which backups are incomplete or outdated. And most importantly, I know how to erase them all. The idea takes root faster than I can stop it. At first, it feels like a fantasy, a fleeting moment of rebellion against the injustice I've endured. But the more I think about it, the more appealing it becomes. Why should DataCore get to walk away unscathed after treating its employees like disposable commodities? Why should Ethan get to strut around like a king while the rest of us suffer? Before I can talk myself out of it, I stand up and grab my ID badge. The server room is on the 3rd floor, tucked away behind a heavy metal door that requires both a keycard and a biometric scan to open. Fortunately, I still have clearance, for now. Once HR processes my termination, that'll change. Which means I have to move quickly. As I step into the elevator, my hands shake so badly I can barely press the button. Part of me wants to turn back, to pretend this whole plan never crossed my mind. But another part, the part fueled by anger and betrayal, keeps pushing me forward. When the doors slide open on the 3rd floor, I take a deep breath and head toward the server room. The hallway is eerily quiet, save for the faint hum of fluorescent lights overhead. Every step feels heavier than the last, as if gravity itself is trying to hold me back. But I keep walking, driven by a mix of fear and determination. Reaching the door, I swipe my card and place my palm on the scanner. There's a soft beep, followed by the click of the lock disengaging. I push the door open and step inside, closing it firmly behind me. The room is cool and dimly lit, rows of servers lining the walls like silent sentinels guarding secrets too valuable to share. I approach the main terminal and pull up the system interface. The screen flickers to life, displaying a dizzying array of options and commands. My fingers hover over the keyboard, hesitation creeping in. This is it, the point of no return. Once I hit delete, there's no going back. DataCore will lose years of work, millions of dollars worth of intellectual property, and possibly its reputation along with it. But maybe that's exactly what they deserve. As I type the first command, adrenaline courses through my veins. Each keystroke feels deliberate, calculated. The weight of what I'm doing settles over me, but instead of backing down, I embrace it. For once, I'm in control. For once, I'm the one calling the shots. The screen flashes a warning. Are you sure you want to proceed? Am I sure? Absolutely not. But sometimes, uncertainty is the price of justice. With trembling hands, I hit enter. The moment I hit enter, the room seems to hold its breath. The servers hum louder, as if protesting what I've just unleashed. My heart pounds in my chest, each beat echoing in my ears like a drumroll leading up to an inevitable explosion. But nothing explodes, not yet, anyway. Instead, the screen flickers with a progress bar, system purge in process. Below it, numbers tick down rapidly, representing files being deleted, databases dismantled, and backups overwritten. It's mesmerizing, watching years of work dissolve into digital oblivion right before my eyes. And yet, despite the chaos I'm creating, there's a strange sense of calm washing over me. For the first time in months, maybe even years, I feel alive. But then reality slams back into focus. What have I done? This isn't just about Ethan or DataCore anymore. This is bigger than me, bigger than any personal vendetta. Entire teams rely on these systems to function. Clients trust this company with their data. People's livelihoods are tied to these servers. If word gets out that all of this was erased, well, let's just say career ending doesn't begin to cover it. I glance at the clock on the wall. 10 minutes have passed since I started the deletion process. By now, someone must have noticed something's wrong. Alerts would be firing off across the network. IT staff would be scrambling to figure out why critical systems were suddenly going offline. Panic would ripple through the building like wildfire. And yet, no alarms blare. No one bursts through the door demanding answers. The silence is deafening, almost surreal. It's as if the world outside this room has frozen in place, waiting for whatever storm I've brewed to break loose. My phone buzzes in my pocket, jolting me out of my thoughts. I pull it out hesitantly, half expecting to see a message from HR or security telling me they know what I've done. Instead, it's a text from my best friend, Mia. "Hey, you okay? You seemed upset earlier." Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. Of course she'd noticed. Mia always did. She was the only person who truly understood how much working at Datacore had drained me, how Ethan's constant belittlement had worn me down piece by piece until I barely recognized myself anymore. She'd warned me countless times to leave, to find somewhere better. But I never listened. I thought I could tough it out, prove them wrong, show them I wasn't worthless. Now look where that got me. I type back quickly, my fingers trembling. I don't know anymore. I did something big. Really big. Before she can reply, another notification pops up, a news alert from a tech blog I follow. Datacore Solutions experiencing nationwide outage, cause unknown. My stomach drops. Nationwide? That means it's not just our office affected, it's every branch, every client connected to their systems. Hospitals using Datacore software to manage patient records. Retail chains relying on their inventory management tools. Small businesses depending on their cloud storage solutions. All of them are gone. Oh God. What have I done? By the time I step out of the server house, the atmosphere in the office has shifted dramatically. People are clustered around desks, frantically refreshing screens that refuse to load. Others pace back and forth, phones pressed to their ears as they try, and fail, to reach IT support. The air is thick with tension, panic bubbling just beneath the surface. No one notices me as I slip back into the main workspace. They're too busy dealing with their own crises to pay attention to the quiet woman who used to sit in the corner cubicle. Even Ethan is nowhere to be seen, probably holed up in his dad's office trying to save face while the world crumbles around him. For a brief moment, I consider confessing. Walking straight into Mr. Caldwell Sr.'s office and admitting everything. Telling him I snapped under the pressure, that I couldn't take another second of feeling invisible and powerless. Maybe he'd understand, or maybe he'd call security and have me arrested on the spot. Either way, it wouldn't undo what I've done. Instead, I grab my bag from my desk and head for the exit. As I pass by rows of panicked coworkers, guilt gnaws at me. These aren't faceless corporate drones, they're real people with real lives. Some of them have families to feed, bills to pay, dreams they've worked hard to achieve. Dreams that might now be shattered because of me. But then I remember Ethan's smug smirk. His condescending tone when he told me I was worthless. The way he made sure everyone knew he held all the power while the rest of us scrambled to keep up. And suddenly, the guilt feels a little less sharp. Outside, the city buzzes with its usual chaos. Cars honk, pedestrians rush past, and street vendors shout to attract customers. None of them know that their day-to-day lives may soon be disrupted because of what happened inside those walls. To them, everything is normal. Ordinary. Safe. But I know better. As I walk away from Datacore for the last time, my mind races with questions. Will they trace the deletion back to me? How long will it take them to recover, if they can recover at all? What happens next, for me, for the company, for everyone involved? For now, though, I keep moving. One foot in front of the other. Away from the wreckage I left behind. Toward whatever comes next. Because whether I like it or not, there's no turning back now. As I walk farther from Datacore, my phone buzzes again. This time, it's Mia calling. Her name flashes on the screen, and for a split second, I consider ignoring it. But something stops me, maybe the fact that she's always been my anchor when life felt like it was spiraling out of control. Clara, she says as soon as I answer, her voice sharp with concern. What's going on? What did you mean by something big? I hesitate, unsure where to even begin. How do you explain to your best friend that you just deleted an entire company's system in a fit of rage? That you've potentially ruined countless lives, including your own? I messed up, Mia, I say finally, my voice cracking under the weight of everything I'm carrying. I don't think I can fix this. There's a long pause on the other end before Mia speaks again. Okay, first things first, breathe. You're not thinking clearly right now. Whatever happened, we'll figure it out together. Her calm tone helps steady me, if only slightly. But you don't understand, this isn't something small. It's huge. Like, catastrophic huge. Then tell me, she insists. Start at the beginning. And so, I do. I spill everything, the years of frustration, Ethan's cruelty, the termination email, the server room, the deletion process. By the time I finish, my legs feel weak, and I slump onto a nearby bench. The enormity of what I've done crashes over me all over again. To my surprise, Mia doesn't yell or lecture me. Instead, she asks one simple question, are you absolutely sure you wiped everything? I frown, replaying the events in my head. I thought I did. Why? Because, she says slowly, if there's even a tiny sliver of hope, a backup, a loophole, anything, you need to find it. And fast. Mia's words linger in my mind as I wander aimlessly through the city streets. At first, I dismiss her suggestion. After all, I'd triple-checked every command before hitting enter. There shouldn't be any remnants of Datacore's systems left intact. But then doubt creeps in. Did I miss something? Is it possible that not everything is gone? An idea forms, a desperate, reckless plan, but it's the only thing keeping me from completely falling apart. If there's even the slightest chance I can undo some of the damage, I have to try. I hail a cab and head back to my apartment, pulling out my laptop as soon as I'm inside. My hands shake as I log into an old personal account I used during my early days at Datacore. Back then, I'd set up a private offsite backup for critical files, a safeguard against potential disasters. I'd forgotten about it until now. When the login screen finally loads, my heart skips a beat. The backup exists. Not all of it, it's fragmented and incomplete, but enough to give Datacore a fighting chance to rebuild. Relief floods through me, but it's short-lived. Even with these files, restoring the company's systems will take weeks, maybe months. And that's assuming anyone believes me when I hand them over. Which brings me to the next problem, how do I explain this without incriminating myself? The next morning, I return to Datacore's headquarters. The scene inside is chaos, employees huddled in groups, whispering anxiously, managers pacing furiously, IT staff frantically typing away at laptops. No one notices me slip past the front desk and make my way toward Mr. Caldwell Sr.'s office. His secretary tries to stop me, but I push past her, knocking lightly on his door before stepping inside. He looks up from his desk, his face pale and drawn. For the first time, he doesn't seem untouchable. He looks human. Clara, he says, startled. What are you doing here? You were terminated. I know, I interrupt, holding up my laptop. But I think I can help. He stares at me, confused. Help with what? The outage, I say simply. I found a partial backup of our systems. It's not perfect, but it's something. Enough to start rebuilding. His expression shifts from confusion to suspicion. Where did you get this? It doesn't matter, I reply firmly. What matters is that it's here now. You can verify it yourself. For a moment, he just looks at me, weighing my words. Then he nods sharply. Fine. Let's see what you've got. Over the next few days, I work tirelessly alongside the IT team to restore as much of Datacore's infrastructure as possible. It's grueling, exhausting work, but it gives me purpose, a chance to redeem myself, however small. Word spreads quickly about the mysterious backup that saved the company from total collapse. Rumors swirl about who might have created it, but no one suspects me. After all, why would someone responsible for the destruction also provide the solution? As the dust begins to settle, Mr. Caldwell Sr. calls me into his office. I brace myself for whatever's coming next: anger, accusations, legal threats. But instead, he surprises me. "Clara," he begins, leaning back in his chair, "I owe you an apology. When Ethan fired you, I didn't question it. I trusted his judgment because he's my son. But after seeing what you've done for this company, not just finding the backup, but working tirelessly to restore it, I realize I made a mistake." My jaw drops. Of all the outcomes I'd imagined, this wasn't one of them. "I want you to come back," he continues. "Not as a regular employee, but as part of senior management. Your insight and dedication are invaluable, and frankly, we need people like you running this company." I stare at him, stunned. "Are you serious?" "Completely," he says with a faint smile. "And don't worry about Ethan. He's stepping down from his role effective immediately. His behavior has been unacceptable for far too long." In the weeks that follow, DataCore undergoes a transformation. With Ethan gone and fresh leadership in place, including me, we implement sweeping changes to improve workplace culture and ensure everyone feels valued. Morale skyrockets, productivity soars, and clients express renewed confidence in our services. As for me, I finally feel like I belong somewhere. For the first time, I'm not just a cog in the machine, I'm part of something meaningful. Something worth fighting for. One evening, as I leave the office, Mia meets me outside with a grin. "So, corporate savior, how does it feel?" I laugh, shaking my head. Like I dodged a bullet, and somehow came out stronger. She loops her arm through mine as we walk away from the building. "You deserve it, Clara. Honestly, I think you've earned a happy ending." And for once, I believe her. In the end, Clara returns to DataCore as part of senior management after revealing the partial backup she created years ago, saving the company from collapse. Ethan is removed from his position, and under Clara's leadership, DataCore transforms into a healthier, more inclusive workplace. With Mia by her side, Clara finally finds purpose and belonging, proving that even in chaos, redemption and happiness are possible.